Hello, my name is Amanda, and I am the Client Relationship Manager here at Empower Physical Therapy. I am here with Stephanie today to talk about a very hot topic. It's arthritis. So I answer the phones more than not. I hear something about how they've been diagnosed. Some of our patients have been diagnosed with arthritis. So, Stephanie, let's start with what is arthritis?
Arthritis is an inflammatory condition, and a lot of times people will get this diagnosis. And sometimes when you see things in imaging, it's just kind of like what I kind of describe with patients. As we get older, we tend to get like wrinkles on our face. It's just what happens when we get older. So when we start imaging and as we're getting older and we're imaging, we're finding these like similar things like wrinkles on our bones. That's what I call it. Where you'll get degenerative changes, bone spurs, some of these things that are just our natural aging process. But when we image, that's what the doctors think that it is. But 9 times out of 10, that's not the case. Actually, I'd say probably like 95% of the time, it's not the case. It's just kind of what they find. If it were really truly arthritis like itis is an inflammatory process. So it means that things are really inflamed. It's not something that will come and go, that you can move and make it feel better, or move and make it feel worse. Those are not common things that you find with arthritis. And like I said, 9 times out of 10, there's something else that's going on. It's just that doctors image you, and that's the diagnosis they will give you.
And so, exactly how is it diagnosed? Is it through imagery only, or?
Yeah, sometimes, I'm sure when you get to where you're like, 40 years old and older, I think the doctor just looks at you and like, oh, well, this is just what happens when you get older. I know it's happened to me. And I wanted to punch the doctor. No, I really didn't. I did. My brain, I did. In my brain, I'm like, I'm punching you right now because you didn't listen to me. And that's really common because that's what people like. It's frustrating because they don't have the time to spend to listen to you. And so you just get this blanketed diagnosis that you have arthritis. It's easy for them, they only have like 5 minutes with you, literally. And so it's easy for them just to image you and say, you see this is what's going on, and this is what your problem is. Or they take an x-ray and they see like, see, you have these bone spurs, or the height of your discs have collapsed, or this is just arthritis. This is just what happens when you get older. Like, that's what you hear all the time. And it's not true. I mean, you can live without aches and pains as we age. It is possible. I see it all the time.
Yeah, and that leads right into my next question. So can it be reversed? Say, like we say, we see a lot of patients with arthritis, and I see them walking out a lot better than they come in. But so tell me about that process, or what you typically find.
Yeah, so you have to get to the source of the problem, and arthritis probably is not that source. Like, I'll give you an example. We had a patient that came in, and this was like their 4th stop. They had been to doctor after doctor after doctor, and everyone told them they have arthritis in their hands. And for whatever reason, the daughter was like, I'm not taking that answer, because literally this patient wanted to get back to making like tortillas. That's what she did for her family. It's what she loved to do. And she couldn't do it anymore because she couldn't use her hands. And when she came in and we looked at her and asked a lot of questions, it wasn't arthritis that was her problem. She had just tendonitis, which is very fixable. And so that's where some of these problems come into play, is that we just give you these blanketed diagnosis of arthritis because it's quick and easy. When you get that diagnosis, you get a huge fear that happens to you. You get a fear that you are going to have to live with this for the rest of your life, and that there's nothing you can do because it's arthritis and that's just what happens. And it's just not true. You can have other people that we've had, come in and they had arthritis supposedly in their hip, or arthritis in their knee. And the same thing, it's like we had to move them and go like, you know what, this is not how arthritis would present. Typically, you'll get some grinding and those kind of things. And this is something that is very fixable. Or your knee pain's coming from your hip, or your knee pain's coming from your back. There's a lot of different sources of where your pain can come from. And just because where you have the pain and the side of it is not often where the source of the problem is. And you've got to get down and sit down, have a conversation, and get down to like, what is really going on. And like I said, normally it's arthritis. That's not what's going on. That's not where the problem is coming from.
That's awesome. All great information. Anything else you'd like to add along that topic, or?
Yeah, I just, for me, I always like to give people hope that there's something that they can do. And a lot of times we feel like as we get older that we just have to deal with these aches and pains because that's just what happens when we get older. And it's just not true. We have many people that come in here and they're amazed at how much better they feel. And as we fix them and get them back to doing life again, like they never thought they could, didn't think they could go and play pickleball pain free, or that they could go hiking.
Right.
Then it's a matter of like continuing to do some of the stretches that we teach you how to do and continuing to stay active. I mean, it's also why we have a whole Pilates section in our office, because we can transition people so that they can continue to get stronger and stay active and be able to live where they want to live. And ultimately, I just want to give you hope that it's possible. It's possible to live without these aches and pains.
Right. Well, I love it. Thank you so much for your time on that very important topic that we hear a lot about.
Thank you.